welcome to the Nexus. Today we're going to be doing issue 30 of a Dalek build. Let's get going.
Exterminate.
Okay, so let's just get on with this. Open it up. Our parts there. And our magazine. As you can see, I've not gone through this magazine. I've literally just pulled it out of the packet. Let's have a look. No poster, and we get The Curse of the Daleks. Is our episode that we're looking at. So once again, it goes through the episode, and we get the behind the scenes stuff there. And it says the First Doctor versus the Daleks, and that's what we're looking at here. So once again, it's going to go through the incidents of the very first Doctor and his encounters with Dalek. Once again, this bit here covers everything. So that covers comics, books, audio books, TV, everything. And it tells you what episodes and I believe who they were directed by or what they are. So this one's a comic, another comic there, audio. So there's loads there. And we are putting on these parts here, which are the photosonic deflectors strips. Is that what they are? Anyway, that's what we're going to be putting on. That is what's in that box. So let's get going. Okay, I'm going to branch out a little bit here. We'll zoom out. So as you can see, we're going to be putting on the bits on that side there. I've got everything ready except a screwdriver. So let me grab that one. And I think there's another one about somewhere that I'll need yet. That one as well, just in case. So we've got those two there. So let's open this, take a little look. We've got some FP screws. Lovely. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we should have some upper and sections. So there's one. They're not numbered or anything. Oh yeah, we have. We've got number one there. So, and a number one there. So this just clicks onto here like it just was. There we go. That's that one done. And two must be in here. Yep. So I'm going to keep strip 2 off. So that's strip 2. We have a number 2 written in there, just there. And we've got a number 2 written on that one, just there. So they go together. So I'm going to do one at a time. These are the cover brackets, is what these are. So we've got 2 of them. Once again, they've got number 2 written on them. So these are written, there is number 2s written on these, just in there. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to place number 1 on here, like that. I do believe. So, like that. There we go. So it sort of just slides downwards. We're then going to use FP screws. So you put it on and slide it down. This is number 1 we're doing, so we need 2 of these. Like so. 1 and 2. Like so. Now we've done that. Next one we need to do is our number 2. So once again, we're just going to take this, line it up and push it down. Like so, there we go, making sure it clicks all the way around. Then once again, this is going to go on and then pushed downwards. So there we go. There we go, like so. So basically just push it down so it lines up. so. We're just going to push these in until they nice and tight. It's looking really good. Now I will say this: they are plastic. They're not die cast. I know some people were worried that they should have been die cast, these parts, but obviously they are not. Now we're going to take these are numbered with number 2, and they're just push fits, so we're just going to push them over the covers like so. We've got this one here, and there you go, you can hear that click, so you know that they're on, and that is what it looks like so. Okay, and that is it, by the way. There is going to be another one that fits at the bottom here, obviously, because we can see that, and we're going to have covers that fit along here, but we are in the next issue, and we'll have a look in a minute. We're probably going to start on this side next. So what I'm going to do to get this ready for next time, so I'm going to undo this wire carefully like so, and I'm going to feed it through the hole here, this side, feed it through this one, and down like I did before, so down through that hole here, like so. Just pull it through, making sure it goes down this one, but then make sure that we have a little bit of give in this one, so it's a little bit like that. And then what I'm going to do is just hook the wire through that bit there. So that is now ready, as you can see, that is now ready for that bit. So we can put everything else away. We do have one spare FP screw. And there we are. It looks really good. Up close, it looks exactly like it should. It looks really good. Even further away. Now, the reason this is probably plastic is due to weight management. So that is why. Okay, so yes, down to weight management. So if this was die cast, it would put possibly extra strain, I should say, on other parts of this. So it's done for weight management mainly, I would imagine, because I think this is going to be extremely heavy. There it looks quite good. So remember, this is where the top part of our mutant sits. So the mutant sits in this area here, and you can see that, which is really cool. It's looking really good. Issue 31, and we'll have a look at that in just a moment. But basically, the next 4 issues, so or 3 issues up, 4 issues up to issue 34 are basically the same what we've done on the left side. We're going to be doing it on the right side. If you're a subscriber, the package you got this month is going to be identical to the package. The parts in it are going to be identical to this month's package next month's, because you're just going from the left to the right side. It's quite repetitive. I mean, we haven't even started doing the orbs yet on the body. That is when it's going to be really repetitive doing that. I think also as well, those bits. Now I'm going to show you what's in 31. There we go. So it's just that part there. But when we start doing those parts and these, yeah, that's when it's going to be quite repetitive. But basically, we're just going to do the mesh. That's the mesh, should I say, and the brackets that hold all that in, which we done on the last one. Hence why I then fed the wire through. So through the hole and then out through the bottom on that side, because obviously we're just going to stick the mesh and the brackets on that side ready again. That's, by the way, that's the underside mesh. We get the underside mesh, then we get this top one that goes on, and then we start doing these. I believe the next 3 issues, so 31, 32 and 33, are identical to these ones, and then 34 is the last one that goes at the bottom, I do believe. But like I said, so if you're a subscriber, you've got up to this point, and basically the next pack is going to be identical to the pack you got this time, but just for that side. Just there. Now I'm going to do some shout outs, as I always do. Remember, if you want a shout out or you want a question read out, let us know in the comments of this video and I'll do it in the next one. So the Horror Universe, thank you for clearing up the price tag. It's annoying when people complain about the end result. Just enjoy it as you can. Yeah, you've just got to enjoy this. You can't look at the end price. Like I mentioned last week, I don't know, I want to go into it again, but like I said, you don't look at the end price when doing this. You don't look at end price for most other things. It only seems to only be certain things that a lot of people say. They all look at like the pricing of it. It's a hobby, and as a hobby, you shouldn't really look at the price, because trust me, you wouldn't do most of them if you knew the end price. Chatty DJ. Hi Kev, I didn't look at what the end price will be. There are so many factors, many partworks are expensive. It's my hobby and brings me enjoyment each month. Hope you are well. I'm very well, thank you. And yeah, a hobby should just do that, should just bring you joy, no matter the cost. That's my look at it anyway. I think if you should enjoy a hobby, and the money aspect, you know, I do stick to a mantra in terms of money, in that you can't take it with you, so spend it now. That's my little mantra. That is, I spend money, as you can see, how I like, and this brings me enjoyment, so that's it. You can't stockpile money, because you can't take it with you. So yeah, that's how I look at it. David, may not have been a lot to do, but looking forward. Very good, Kev, so far. I agree with you about the weight thing. These parts need to be plastic, otherwise it would weigh too heavy to move, but still looks really good. Nice one, Kev. Yeah, there is going to be die cast. We know that because of the top head. There are going to be other die cast things. I've got a suspicious feeling the plunger, the arm, the grabber, they're probably going to be die cast. As for the base, that was going to be an interesting one. I would imagine a lot of the inner workings and a lot of the inner structure is going to be die cast. That's like a frame mesh work that keeps everything together. We now know up to issue 45, so we know that we're going to be moving away from this one very soon and concentrating on the actual base of the Dalek, which is all die cast. Remember, when these things say plastic parts and die cast pieces, that die cast could even mean down to the screws, because the screws are die cast. So technically they could provide everything plastic and give you the screws as die cast and still claim that it's got die cast in it. But yeah, I would imagine, just like I said on why building this, it's a weight management thing. Remember, all that weight being pushed down, there's going to be a lot there. So I would imagine that some of the outer sections, as we know on this, are going to be plastic. I don't know whether the orbs will be or the metal panels that they hold will be. There'll be certain bits of this be elements of it being die cast, but I think the majority of this might be plastic. It's just because of a weight management issue. If it's too heavy, it will struggle to move. So it's normally down to something like that. JJ, I agree with you. I understand that looking at it at nearly 1,700 price tag is a lot to spend on something, particularly a model which most people don't look past. People either complain about the price or complain about how long it takes to build. So you can't win. No, you can't. There's a lot of factors you can't win. The fun is the hobby of building something new each week and the satisfaction of the end result of your hard work, which for the price of a couple of meal deals or Starbucks trips, it doesn't seem that much to me, honestly, especially when the cost is spread over 2 years. Exactly. I did say this in the group messenger chat on Facebook, that A lot of people were complaining about how many parts you get. It really doesn't matter. So if they offered this as a full build, or if they offered you more issues each month, that would not change the price. You would still pay the price whether you bought it as a full build or whether you done it as a part, as in a weekly or a monthly. You're still going to end up paying the same amount, right? I would prefer if it was split. A bit like a credit card, I suppose. That's how I sort of look at it. It's a bit like paying off a credit card, but you're getting something. You haven't got something yet, but you're getting something at the end of it. A bit like a layaway or something like that. That's how I look at it. I would bet the same people who complain are probably paying way more for a monthly subscription that they don't even use. Each to their own. I'm loving my first hardware build. Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah, I think if you look at things like Netflix or Amazon Prime or something like that. I mean, I don't necessarily have Amazon Prime because I just wouldn't use it. I have a friend actually who is part of the National Trust. Now, I'm not in the National Trust just because obviously I do like walking around the forest and stuff like that, but I just don't use it enough. A friend of ours has got the National Trust. It costs her 156 quid or something like that a year, and she uses it once or twice a year. Yeah. I have to get my money's worth, let's put it that way. And trust me, with the part works, you're getting your money's worth. Dave McBeal's nice build, Kev. Thank you very much, Dave. Bobby Bits. I remember watching the Doctor Who movie when they landed on Skaro, and there is a scene in which they take the Dalek out of his machine with a cape, but all it showed was a claw. Yeah, every Doctor Who has had a different interpretation of the mutant inside. There was an episode, I can't remember, you're going to know it, let us know in the comments, but there's an episode where there's a see-through Dalek, and you can see it looks almost human inside. We also had the Manhattan one as well, where we had the mutant hybrid that was a person in it. We've had Clara in there, inside the Dalek as well, and Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, the 13th Doctor. Her Dalek inside was more of an octopus sort of thing. It had longer tentacles, and it was able to attach itself to people and control them. We also had those control Daleks as well, where the people had the little stalk coming out of their head. Don't know what that was all about. So yeah, there's been different. There's also been one where it's just been like a blob of gooey stuff. So every Doctor has sort of had their own interpretation of what the Dalek looks like inside. The way they've been able to get over that is obviously just a quick lesson. So the Daleks had, I think it was a nuclear war, and they were dying. Davros sort of, after they mutated, he sort of took them and put them inside the Dalek as his own minions. But it was to save his people, but actually it was for him to do his own bidding. And basically, I think the people of Skaro were sort of human like us, and then they would come over with radiation, and the suit was supposed to protect them. But apparently, if you watch Doctor Who and stuff, these are mutations of the original Daleks. So I think that's how they've been able to get around it. But anyway, we'll go on. Hardy, Temperus, Wild, I don't know. Well, that is a lot there. Plastic makes sense. The next section tends to open. Yeah, all of that. A lot of the inner mechanisms, so the things that power the wheels, the mechanism for the unit to open, will all be die cast, and we've already seen that with the head. Now the head section is die cast. The majority of it is. A lot of the interior stuff is mechanism wise is plastic. We're going to get a mixture of both. So they never tell you. Like I said, they never really say with these part works. So they say plastic and die cast pieces. But like I said, they can even get around the die cast pieces by saying the screws are die cast. And they never give you a percentage. You're never going to... By the way, I've been building these models for such a long time. I can tell you right now that every part work that I've had, apart from Robocop, really, and Optimus Prime, where I would say 70% of it is die cast, and the same with Optimus Prime. But normal wins, things like cars and yeah, mainly cars really. There's normally 70% plastic, and then the rest is die cast. There's normally a percentage. Well, I've never had a build where it's half and half. Never. It'd be interesting how we go on with this one, but I imagine this is probably going to be similar. So we're probably going to have something like, 30% die cast and the rest plastic. So yeah, Andrew, I can understand people put off by the price to some degree, since this was my first part where I debated with myself for a while, but as a fan of the show since the first Doctor, the debate won. Brilliant. When I thought about it a bit more, the monthly cost was acceptable, and at the end I'm going to have a great looking Dalek. You are indeed. The problem with Partworks, I find, is they're addictive. So if this is your first one, you're going to get addicted. It is addictive, trust me. Paul, hi Kev, just know if you realise yet, but regarding issue 26, the cables that don't go are cables that don't tell you to attach yet. The last small cables, yeah, I know. I did respond to this one actually. So I've been building enough, and I've seen the finished article, so you can see it in many parts in the magazines and on the thingy. So I was able to judge where those pipes will go. Now they are in there, but they can be taken out to move at a certain point. Now I only put those pipes in just to keep them there, so they're not loose around anywhere, and I don't have to go rooting around later on. So yeah. Alfred, the outside of the neck should be in aluminium or tin, a lightweight material. Yes, they could do. I think that it's a cost material stuff. So it comes down to weight management and cost, and moulding as well. So there is that element to it. But yeah, they could have done that. Lucky Boy, have you seen the new upcoming issues? I think we're building a boat soon. I have, like I said, I've seen up to issue 45, and we are doing the base, and this is we're gonna need I'm gonna need a bigger desk, is what they say. Shane, another great video. It will take you more than 2 years to do, as there is 140 parts to buy. Just a couple of ways to take it. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. Everyone's in it for the long haul. The Horror Universe, I need a new part for 13. The motor snapped ages ago. I really cannot find a replacement for it. If you're a subscriber, just ring up Hachette. They do replacements. Any of these partwork companies, I always say, if anything breaks and you're subscribing, you get free replacements. Just go straight there. Now, if you're on the newsagents, you can do a back order at newsagents. Any good newsagents will do a back order for an issue for you. And secondly, and now that can, by the way, that can take a couple of weeks, even months. So it's worth letting them know. Secondly, when I've ever had a piece broke or I'm missing an issue or anything like that, I order it straight from the website. Now, if the issues are not on there at the minute, they will do. They tend to get a restock as the build goes on. And there's also a button on there, I do believe, that lets you put in your email, emails you when it's back in stock. So there are other options, but yeah. Temporal. I've noticed they stopped doing the Dalek issues in some newsagents from issue 10 to start another model of Peter's ship from Guardians of the Galaxy. I've asked if they could they provide to stop sending them. Right. So any good what you'd normally do is you go to a newsagent. It's not WH Smith anymore, it's TG something, or any local newsagents. So I go to a local one. Now you put in an order with them. Normally you'd say, can you put by the Dalek issue? They will put an order in, and then they will get it in every week. Normally they don't do these order things, and what happens is the company that sends them, normally WH Smith News, but it's not that anymore, will just send out the issues. Now if the company is selling those issues, they will normally keep supplying them. If they don't, majority of the time, places like supermarkets and stuff are the same. So as the Sainsbury's, Tesco's, they can also supply them. But after about issue 10, they stop. So it's always worth to put in an order. Now, I don't know if you can do that at supermarkets, but at newsagents, you can. Issue 10 is normally the cut-off point for a lot of the part works. So if you get to issue 10, they just cut it off. It's normally down to other stuff coming out. Now, the Guardians of the Galaxy ship, that's a test run that they did. Now, test runs work a little bit different. So normally what happens on a test run, an area is selected and they normally get 4 issues and then they stop it. Now, the provider would stop sending them if they keep... Now, after issue 10, normally if they sell, sometimes they keep them. But actually what normally needs to happen is your newsagent, supermarket or convenience store, anything like that, that gets the magazines in, they have to request it to keep them sending normally. Now, sometimes it's automatic due to sales, but 9 times out of 10, they have to request getting them. So when they turn around and say they've stopped sending them, they've stopped requesting them. That's what's normally happened. But most good news agents will get them in. Like I've been collecting part works from the news agents that I collect now for too long. Years, 5 years at least, before COVID. Way before COVID. So, yeah. So any good news agents would do that. Another one from Horror Universe. The build looks like it's flying, but it's also at the same time it's not. It will feel like that, trust me. I'm just trying to look now if there's any more here. No, that's it. That is it. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you click like, subscribe and comment. If you want to comment, leave it on this video. We'll shout out the next one. That is what's coming at issue 31. We'll see you then. But until then, keep watching and we'll see you at the next video. Take it easy, guys.
Tune into the channel. Nexus is the name. All the hardest content. You'll never be the same. Laughs and thrills, excitement.